I mentioned that if I got disconnected again, which I got disconnected at 5:55, it's now 7:30, and I got disconnected again. Good old internet. Make sure we're rolling here. Make sure everything is. Make sure the mic is good. Yeah, it looks like we are. Okay. Like I said, I wasn't done painting, so there'll be more. Hopefully we don't have to have any more parts to this. And you lose all the people. You get, oh, there's a handful of you guys watching us. Be like, where the hell do you go? I don't know. Internet just glitched for 15, 17 seconds, something like that. Maybe even less. But OBS doesn't like that. I need to look for alternatives other than OBS. See if I can get somewhere, because this is just ridiculous. The fact that I can't, I mean, when I was streaming with my phone, I could just stay on here, and if it just glitched for a little bit, it would just kind of spin, and it would keep trying, and then eventually it would come back. I mean, if your internet was down for like freaking 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that, it wouldn't work. But even over a minute, if your internet came back on, you would just have it would just stop your feed for a little bit. But this whole, if you get any kind of a cut in it at all, you get disconnected is just ridiculous. That's just really frustrating for the viewers, I can only imagine. But we just see if we can do something other than, I don't want to go back to streaming through the phone, because that's just, you guys aren't going to get a very good quality. I wouldn't want to watch it, especially after we've been able to do it at 1080. Going back to doing it at 720 is just silly. So does any kind of glitch at all just completely kicks you off this. So all right. Now let's go ahead and add more of this color here. Of course, now I talk so much about gas lines, that's what I want to do tomorrow morning, is paint a gas line car. Well, we'll see. I may give myself the leisure of doing that, but I need to do several things today to prepare for that. Yep, see, lost everybody. Well, I'll tell you what, if I get disconnected one more time, that's it. Of course, nobody's watching, so I don't really know that, but that's it for today. And of course, nobody comes on, then we'll be done with this one as well. It's all good. We got a couple hours of painting done this morning anyway, so we can chalk it up still as a win. Let's add a little more. So I may allow myself the luxury of doing that. I'm messing with a Gaslands car tomorrow morning. We'll see. We'll see how it plans out. I'm not going to make any promises. The test would be to just go ahead and see, like, okay, can I get a car done in a paint session? Not building it, but can I get it painted? Because the building doesn't take that long. But I think what I need to do is I need to do a model that I don't really care for that much. So if I do like a really rushed job of it, I mean, it's not going to turn out bad. I've painted enough that even if it does turn out bad, I can fix it, you know, but I'm going to have to listen to some how to play the game or whatever while I'm doing laundry or something like that. So I don't build the thing wrong, but I know you can play that the car can look like whatever and your stats are different, but the way I'm going to do it, I want the car to look like the stats. Especially if we're going to have a little picture of the car or whatever, name of it. It's probably somewhere online that people have some sample cars. I think 25, 30. I think 30 points is probably, you can do a lot with 30 points. I remember when I used to do my Battletech stuff in the early 90s, I used a lot of dry brushing. I rarely dry brush anymore. Well, for one, you destroy the brushes. And I like to paint a little bit more controlled. I want the colors where I want the colors. But all right, let's add a little bit of sunny skin tone, which is already dying. And like I said, I get disconnected this time, then we're just gonna call it a day. Unfortunately. looking color-wise. Give this guy a little bit more. Bring him up a little bit more. Let's take some of this gunk off the edge of this brush. Like this, the thinner helps a lot to keep it from sticking, but still occasionally some of this stuff builds up. This stuff works pretty well to get this paint off the brush. What it doesn't do good as, and I don't think anything actually works for that, regardless of what anybody says, is once your brush starts going sideways, literally, once the tip starts doing that 90-degree turn, you're up a creek. You need to just, you don't have to throw the brush away, you just end up having to use it for things that are, not as precise. Maybe a little too much there without. But like I said, I'm not opposed to buying better brushes if they were available to just walk in and grab them. But I want to inspect them before I buy them. Certainly don't want to spend $10 a brush, sight unseen. Because I've experienced, even with these multi-packs, you'll look at them and like, man, half the brushes are worthless. I don't want this one. And you go and get the next pack and it's okay. Getting kind of thin on the paint. I think I'm going to do a different color battle sarong on this guy. Well, they've all been different, but I mean significantly different. Well, sort of significantly different. We can't get crazy, but... Let's do a stick first. Should have some of this color still okay. Oh. That's with my chair being as erect as possible. Try to avoid battle discomfort. Mike B Good morning. What size brush is that? Let's see. I'm going to say it's a 1. Well, this is called supposedly a 20-aught. And it says script on it. It's written here. .20-aught, but it doesn't mean anything because it's a big brush. It's the tip that matters. Like this other one I was using, what is it? It's also a 20-aught. It just came in a big multi-pack of things. You know, I don't think the brush size means anything. You got to look at it and look what the tip is like. What's this one? This is a 5-aught. And I used it for stuff as well until that tip starts going sideways. See a little bit? I can still do stuff with it like horses and stuff like that, but I don't want to get into faces and do... I don't know. That's... The brush size is, you know, relative. I don't even look at it. I kind of look at the brush. That's why I'm opposed to buying brushes sight unseen, because every one of them's different. And there's no store here to buy good brushes at. We used to have an art supply store, but we went out in business probably 10 years ago. But I don't think I have any brushes that are natural hair. I think they're all synthetic, and I think that's the problem. So when it's time to buy new brushes, which is, it's going to be a ways out. It's going to be several years out because I need to consume all this stuff up. I'm going to try to get some natural hair brushes. I've got some from Germany that I've been watching on Amazon. They're about, I think for 5 or 6 brushes, they're like $30 or something like that. They're not terribly expensive. I'm willing to give them a shot one time because I can't get these where I got them anymore. So, and I really don't want, well, these don't say where they're from, but you know, you all know when they don't say where they're from and where they're really from. So I really don't want to give that country any more of my business unless I absolutely have to. And there's other alternatives. All right, let's do the stick here. Let's make the stick a little different. Let's use this dark brown as the darkener, not the black. I don't know if it makes any difference, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Now, you guys got my juices flowing earlier talking about Gaslands. I may actually do Gasland painting tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if we can... A couple things have to happen. Everything that I need to do today needs to happen. And I need to organize the stuff in my closet a little bit. Then I don't want to move 20 things out of the way to get the one thing. And then build it. Build it on paper first. Which of course means deciding, you know, what am I going to make my teams? 30s, 25s. And just see if I get around to doing it. Because I got to do the building today, so I can just paint tomorrow. I think building and painting is too much. Although I don't think the building part is really that time consuming. It's more like what can you modify to it so it doesn't look like you just took it out of the package and spray painted it and started playing. Which I guess you could do, but we'll see. To be continued. have some Winsor and Newton, but usually cheap brushes depending on what I'm painting. Use a lot of contrast paint for bigger armies. Contrast is hard on brushes. It is. I haven't, I haven't messed with contrast paint because of a couple reasons. First of all, I think it's arrived on the scene too late for me. And the other thing is being Games Workshop stuff. I don't have a problem with Games Workshop things, but it seems like their paints are out of stock at the local stores. We got a couple of game stores that have Games Workshop stuff, and they're always out of stock on things, and that's really frustrating. Like, you need to get more or something, and I think I'd have to start priming white, and I'm not ready to do that yet. Now, with that said, I may give them a shot at some point, but I've got 400 things to paint, so I don't really need to buy more paint. I'm sure at some point I'll get one. I'll get like some funky color that's not available and tinker around with it. I've read about what they kind of are. And you think I could be successful with maybe not using it for everything, but using it for like the main color on something. Like, just say take a vehicle, spray paint it white, and then just paint all of it. Like, I know it's going to be green, so use some green contrast. So bam, put that on there, and then work from there. I think that the only thing I'm not sure about is, like, let's say I paint this vehicle, all right, and I spray paint it white, and I want it to be green, and I paint the whole thing contrast green. I like how it is, so I'm going to start doing some panel lining, and somehow I booger it up. How do I use that contrast to fix the booger? And I'm not sure how it's going to be. Like with this paint, yeah, I can make all kinds of errors and come back and fix it. I'm sure I can figure it out. Maybe that'll be yet another challenge, is to take something like that. But I'll probably use like a contrast red, an orange, or a green, or something that's kind of unusual. Orange would probably be a good one, I would think. Orange doesn't cover worth a shit anyways in regular paint, so that might not be bad. Yellow might not be bad. Something. Buy one bottle. And there's lots of videos of people doing it on there, but another challenge. It's not necessarily that I'm scared, it's just I don't want something to take even longer in my process. Now, I was new to glazes. I did the glazes on that dinosaur earlier, and I also did it in the last building that I did. I used glazes to do that, and I think I was pretty successful with that. Successful enough that was how it turned out. And that's this little guy here, this dollar store church here. This is all done with glazes. This was primered white. And I think other than this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. This probably took 6 hours. 5, 6 hours, something like that. But this is all done with craft paint, I think, for the most part. I think it turned out pretty well. It certainly looks better than it was. I mean, like, tremendously better than it did. It looked like, well, I don't know if it looked like shit, but it didn't look very good before. So, I'm not opposed to trying something different. I can paint my way out of anything enough to where I think that I'm happy with the results. So anyhow, I think this turned out pretty well. Yeah, maybe I'll pick up a bottle of contrast paint, fool around with it a little bit. I may do that soon. See what I think. But I think I think I would get a really strong color that you could tinker with it, because you can always add like a Nolan oil wash or something like that to it. Games Workshop has a lot of supply chain issues. Just finished the models from the Space Hulk game. Been lying around for years. Did the Space Marines with traditional paint? Gene Stealers with contrast. To fix mistakes with contrast paint, simply paint a little primer over the mistake and then repaint that area. Okay, that makes sense. So if I have an area that's green, that I got something on it that I didn't want. Then come back and put white, and then wait for that to dry, and then do green over it. That makes sense. Okay. Here's where I have 2 contrast primers, gray and off-white, in both spray and small pot. Can't you just use regular white paint? The church is amazing. It really, you know what? I'm not going to toot my own horn, but it looks better in person than it does on video. This washes everything out, but there's a couple people that saw this last game day that we had, and it looks too washed out. You know, the look of it looks like, I don't know if you, Mike, I don't remember where you're from, but here in the United States in the late 80s, early 90s, at Hallmark stores, they had these series of like lighthouses. It's like the lighthouse of a certain point in Maine, and there was another one that was in Massachusetts or whatever. And they were really expensive, and they were done in this style, maybe a little bit less cartoony, because I don't mean paint-wise less cartoony. I mean like sculpt-wise less cartoony. And I always admired them as a kid, and I always wanted one. I don't know, but they were like $120. They were really expensive. And I feel that this look kind of mimics the look of how they were painted. And yeah, I was really happy how it turned out. A freaking dollar store thing. So it turned out so well. Mitch just said, you just keep it. Use it as your camp for your Pope. So there you go. It's not like he's not going to see it again. It comes out when the Pope comes out. So yeah, I think it turned out really well. Really, really well. Well, you know, it's cartoony. I mean, you look at it, and this one's leaning a little bit. It's not perfect, but you know, it works. You know. White works. I use a gray primer if I want a dark color, and the off-white for lighter, brighter colors. Dayton, Ohio. Okay, excellent. You don't know Scott Ludwig, do you? That plays with us? He's from Ohio. I don't remember where he's from, though. But Ohio is a lot rounder than Florida, so it's less likely that you're near someone there than you are in Florida, because Pensacola and Miami are a long ways away from each other, like California distances. We'll tinker with that. I'm not opposed to taking things to the next level, or maybe I'll find something cool to do with it. I'll pick up a pot of it, not what they call it. But I can see using it for the main color. You know, like whatever the main thing is, like it's going to be a red vehicle or a red something or another. Just do that in the main color, give it some depth, and then go in there with the details, paint them in the traditional method. But it's the main color that takes a long freaking time anyways. So, all right. We said we were going to paint this guy's battle sarong in a different color, didn't we? Oh, we're not done with the stick. You do not know Scott. Oh, come on, he's from Ohio, man. You should know everybody there. Yeah, I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he hails from. He's involved in way too many games. He plays just about every day of the week, but he does different stuff between role-playing, different miniatures. All right. Little different color. Let's grab this yucky color down here. What color is this? Other than yucky. Japan uniform. This is an extremely watery color, if I remember correctly. Let's see what we can do with this. We're going to mix this one with this brown. There's a one of those mixing balls in there. And it's still watery. Let's try this again. Sounds like there's one in there. It may just be a hard turd of paint. There we go. We can work with that. This is how I get encroached by all my paints. Like instead of putting it away, I put it right here. You know what? I'm gonna put it back there where it goes. I don't think we'll need more of that. All right, let's get in here and mix some of this brown in with it. What an ugly color. But that's what this guy had to wear. And these Horde figures are figures that I'm willing to use for other Book 1 Horde armies as well. So if I got Assyrians or something like that that need some solid Hordes, use these guys as well in a pinch. Because it's the same figures, you know. I mean, what's the point in building different Hordes for different armies? They're all going to be damn near naked, barefoot, and you know, they're just wearing whatever. I'll watch a contrast paint video just for you. Now, it's for me too. I don't mind. Like I said, I could see using it for the main color or something. What I'm not interested in doing is the people that use that. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Zenithal? Is it Zenithal? Where they take a figure and they spray it from the top white, like it's a dark color figure, and they do different shades of white, so it's almost looks like a spotlight is on the actual figure, and then they paint and glazes on top of that. I don't want an airbrush. I did some of that with the dinosaur, but I used it with dry brushing, like white, different levels of white, a little bit of that. But yeah, I'm not buying an airbrush. It's not worth my time spending the time cleaning it and shit like that. I don't want to get into that. It's just not my cup of tea. You know, I'm really patient when it comes to painting in this layering method and it taking a long time, because at no point am I undoing anything that I've done. And by that I mean, you know, making any grave mistakes where I'm going to have to start over. It's all solid, consistent build up. With the spray thing, you know, oh, I got to stop. Why? Because I got to clean it, or it's clogged, or this, that, and the other. Or, okay, you're done now, and I got to paint in the garage, and it's hot. And I'm like, I bought a cheap airbrush, and I did my mats that way. And I realized what I did like about it and what I didn't. And then sure, a better one is going to work better, but I didn't want to throw $500 at a problem and then come back with, I wish I hadn't done that kind of thing. So airbrushing is not for me. And I have limited uses. It's not like I'm going to be airbrushing all my figures. There's a figure painter that's, I don't remember what his name is right now, but he's on Facebook quite a bit. And it seems like he airbrushes all his 28mm figures. And they look good, but they look unrealistic. They just look weird. It's just not the look I'm looking for. And I'm not saying he doesn't do a good job. I'm just saying that's not how I want my figures to look. And, this that I'm doing may be slow, but it's relaxing. Painting and having to stop and all that stuff, and just the fact that I have to paint in my garage, that's a deal breaker right there. I'm hot all frickin' day long at work. I do not want to experience that crap any more than I have to. Certainly not doing my hobby. So. Contrast paints. You got my juices flowing, man. That's good. It's good to get excited about our hobby. I take it they don't make contrast metallics. Like, it probably wouldn't work with like steel and stuff like that. Now, I've been really happy with the Games Workshop metallics. That's my go-to. I have the Viejo ones. I don't like them. They're gummy, almost like. I don't like the consistency. They don't. See, this guy looks freaking good. I'm happy with how this guy turned out. Let's give him a light shadow here. And a little bit more. Now let's do the front equivalently. That it? No, we got to do his beard. Then we can take a look at all three. And then we'll probably call it. See, I'm not opposed to trying different things, but like some things are just like aren't going to work for me. Like, like lots of people have suggested, doing 28mm, which I'm opposed to just by it taking so much longer to paint. I mean, like, I'm not going to paint 28s and then like go and dip figures. That'd be like taking a step backwards. I have these figures that could showcase a lot more detail, but I'm going to put less of it on them. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So, but using a contrast paint to kind of, I'll give one a shot. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll go do that today on one of our escapades. Make my daughter go to the game shop. She won't go. She's scared of gamers. I don't blame her. There's some weirdos out there. It's alright to be geeky, but you need to turn that shit off when you get out in the real world, Okay, let's take a look at these three. I did get cut off again. Yep. At 5:55 and 7:30. I'm supposed to write these things down so my agent can contact the authorities and find out what the hell's going on. So the problem is if I lose it for a second, OBS cuts me off. So I need to find another streaming thing other than OBS. Like when I was streaming on my phone, you know, I could probably be cut off for 2 minutes and it would just keep spinning and it would just reconnect and I wouldn't lose anybody. Well, I'd lose some people, but, you know, I'd come back on. I don't have that option. It automatically kicks me off and I have to create a new stream, which is going to take me a minute or two, a couple minutes. Let's take a look at these guys. Honestly, I haven't really looked at them. I know that sounds really weird, but I haven't. Yeah, these two look like they're the same color of the spattle sarongs, but they really aren't. It's funny, this guy looks really shiny. But he won't. Once you do the sealer, that kind of evens things out. Okay, so these three guys are done. Now I got 4 people on instead of 1. Well, you know what? I'm not going to cut off then. Now I got 5. Well, my point exactly. Let's paint another dude. But let's do something a little different. Let's do a guy that's just by himself. Okay, so I don't have to, like for instance, in these guys, this is 14 figures. This guy's by himself, this guy's by himself. I got 2 in this pose. This guy's got a sickle sword. This guy's got a knife. This is what I call the butcher figure. He looks like some guy who just came out and call in the butcher. That's what this guy looks like, another bald-headed dude. These guys are running with a stick. These 3 guys are running with a stick. So these 3 figures are the same. So let's do this guy that's working for the weekend, wearing a headband. What about live YouTube? That's what I'm on. That's what live YouTube is. Yep. So what I was doing before was live YouTube from my phone. The problem with live YouTube from my phone is because it's detected as a mobile connection. It limits your connection speed to your connection resolution to 720p, which is really poor. So after I got my computer last year, I'm streaming through so then I got the computer, so then I could go through the computer and then have a higher resolution like we do now. But my internet at home was 1/10 of my mobile connection or worse, so it couldn't keep up. So it wasn't until like 2 months ago that we upgraded finally, after 20 years on DSL, upgraded to cable modem. Now my internet connection through the house is as good as my phone. It's actually it's not as good as the phone. The 5G phone is even faster than the home internet. But the problem is that I can't just connect my phone through it. I've got to go through a computer to get the multiple screens. And because of doing that and going through a third-party thing like OBS, which is the free, what's it called? Something band service, whatever. As soon as it gets a glitch in the connection, it drops me. So I need to look and see if there's other streaming things that aren't OBS that may be able to, because if there's a glitch in the internet, which could happen, and I'm telling you, the glitch is like 17 seconds long or 12 seconds or something, but it's enough that I have to start a new stream. It's just mildly annoying, and sometimes I think one day it happened like 7 times, and then other days it doesn't ever happen. So, it's just, I guess, luck of the Irish, whether or not it happens to you. But, yeah, that DSL, man, that was a son of a bitch. The OBS is the issue that runs the live stream, yes, but the OBS is the problem that it doesn't allow me to stay trying to retry to reconnect without cutting the stream off. So as soon as it loses the internet connection, I have to start a new stream because of OBS. So I need to find another service that allows me to wait around for even a minute, and not start another stream. So they want you to pay for better bandwidth. Would you believe that I'm not paying anymore? We were paying a lot for DSL. They weren't going to offer fiber optic in our neighborhood. It's just been years. We've been waiting around for, we've been a customer of AT&T forever. Over 20 years, and they just never upgraded their things, and you just can't. I mean, we couldn't even watch one show reliably. So I don't want cable. I just want the internet. I'd be fine streaming through. Like I said, I did a speed test on my phone. My phone is faster than the internet that we have here, and it was like 30 times or something like that faster than my DSL connection. But because YouTube says, oh, that's a mobile connection, well, we don't want you to use we don't want to stream your stuff at higher than 720. They were dumbing down my feed, even though my phone could do 8K. So, oh well. Different problems. This is why I'm not into technology crap, So I may look around and see if there's something else that I can put on the computer that's not OBS. It's a little bit, lets me wait around for the connection. And if not, I guess we'll just have to deal with this, But that isn't too difficult to use, because some things are just, and I don't necessarily consider myself unintelligent, but, I don't want to sit here and spend a lot of time trying to edit a video. Like, for instance, I've got the editor I was using. I did download one for the computer called, and there's no point in paying for one, because the ones I've heard that you pay for have all kinds of problems too, like the Adobe stuff. And, I just don't want to pay for something and something be problems. All I did was pay for problems, The Adobe one, no, the one that I got for free was called DaVinci Resolve. It's so freaking powerful. I don't need it for my videos. So what was happening is I was spending longer editing the video than the video took. And, editing is fun, but man, enough is enough. So I just use the editor for my videos that's on my mobile device, which is really easy to use, and it's about $30 a year, something like that. But it makes things really easy. I mean, everybody knows how to edit a video if you've watched any TV programming. I want the song to start here, I want it to fade, I want to put this song here and move it. It's just really easy to move that stuff on the mobile phone. You start adding, like, on the computer, it has too many bells and whistles I don't need, It's kind of like learning how to fly a plane when all you want to do is taxi it. I don't need all those extra bells and whistles. And I've come close to say several years ago, F it, I'm not going to make any more videos because the editing process was just so annoying. You get everything edited how you want it, and then it's time to export, and I can't do anything with my phone for 5 hours. And it falls asleep, so I have to constantly keep waking it up. I can't, I've come close. I've come really close. Now with the phone upgrade, it's a lot more reliable with the download thing, and I'm trying to keep the bells and whistles on my videos to a minimum. I mean, yes, I could make them more fun with panoramic things of the armies beforehand, but I gotta keep from getting burned out on it. That's the first thing you can do. As soon as it stops being fun, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Twitch, Restream. Twitch, isn't that just for those freaking internet personalities. I'm not cute enough to be on Twitch. Isn't that for all those internet girls that go on there and get the 1,000 people watching, somebody else watching playing a game? Yeah, no, they're just checking the girl out. I honestly don't know anything about Twitch. I don't know if you can Twitch and then bring it on YouTube. I don't know. I may look into it, but this is working pretty well. Just an occasional hiccup from time to time, unfortunately. Oh well. I take it you're doing better. Hopefully you're at about 100%. I was under the weather this last week, but not related to what you had. Just I think I ate too many oranges. Too much acid buildup in my stomach. And by eating too many, I mean I was eating like 3 a day. They gave us a bunch of. Gave us a bunch of oranges from a football game. Like, here, the players didn't have it. I'm like, oh, free fruit, awesome. I love fruit. I think I just damaged my stomach lining. I'm still feeling it. And I've never had stomach issues before, but we'll see. Wednesday, I stayed up all night and it was really uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't go to sleep for like 4 hours. It was torturous, mental torture. If I was feeling okay, I'd be like, oh, I can't go to sleep? Cool. Let's do a painting thing at 3 in the morning, right? Or 2 in the morning. No, I couldn't even watch a show. But so I only got 1 day of painting in done last week, but it's all good. All right, let's make some more quantity of this. There we go. Twitch Restream, those are top 21 streaming services. Much better. Okay. We'll have to check that out. I'm going to go ahead and write those down. And if there's how-to videos that are easy to use, then maybe we'll try that. Busy for next 6 weeks, hosting 40 Air Force and Navy personnel. Yeah, I would say so. That's 4, 6. It's almost 7 a week. Get them into wargaming. Get them into wargaming. Wonder how many people actually do that during the military. I would think there'd be a sizable amount. Probably more than the private sector. what was it, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know. I lose track of time. Whatever. I had the opportunity of going into the Pentagon for the first time. That was freaking cool. That was really cool. Although I'll be honest with you, that's a little bit too much freedom. I remember walking by that hallway where the office of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is right there. I mean, I could have walked in and and said something stupid. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure they check my record and go, this guy hasn't become a lunatic for almost 50 years, so I think he's probably safe. And they were, you know. I always wonder what kind of, when they pull your information up, what exactly they find about you. Not that I'm worried about any of it, but because I always say, my record's better than the person checking my record. But yeah, you could just walk into the Joint Chief of Staff office there and tell them, you need to go here, you need to go here, you need to go here. I play war games. This is what you should do. Not that I would even imagine doing something like that, but thought that was a little too. Obviously, I didn't walk on my own. I have to have a sponsor, so they'd hang him and they'd draw and quarter him if I misbehaved. I'm sure, but. Tech manual verification. That's 40 for 6 weeks. Mainly officers. Ossifer. Yeah, but that was cool going in the Pentagon. That was neat. But I thought that was a little too... I think that was a little too open, just letting random people just walk around the halls. I don't know. I'm not going to misbehave. But, this new generation, man, people haven't beaten them with a belt before. So sometimes some of those guys don't know how to behave, Oh, man. Two, three? It's at least 2 years ago. Maybe 3. That was cool. That was really, really cool. But I'll be honest with you, I get defensive. I don't like being questioned. And I don't like, that's one of my pet peeves. I don't like being questioned. Obviously, I don't have a problem being questioned there because, they kind of need to, but, I always got a better record than the person doing the questioning for me. The person questioning me. But yeah, that's a little too much freedom, honestly. I think they're just letting random people walk around the Pentagon. I don't know. I guess they haven't had any incidents. If they had, they'd stop that crap in a heartbeat. I figured there's enough people that go in there and know how to behave. Mainly military officers play war games. Okay. Keeps your brain sharp. I think it does. I had a guy I used to work with, pissed me off. He was from another country. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but anyways, it was right after 9/11 happened. I remember that time. I remember that 9/11 like it was yesterday. Almost like it was yesterday. I don't remember yesterday, but I remember 9/11 stuff really well. And this guy said, I'll never forget, he said, that happened because there's too much freedom in this country. How much freedom do you need? And I immediately replied to, it's like, I want all of it. I'm a freedom glutton. I mean, obviously within limits, but it's like, come on, dude. I'll never forget that. How much freedom do you need? If you know how to behave, you should have all the freedom you want. You know how to behave. But Maybe there aren't many of us left in the world anymore. Maybe there are, and we just stay quiet. The ones rattling sticks and causing trouble are the ones that don't know how to behave. Well, thought I was going to stop painting when I painted one guy, and this is my third one, so that's good. Made progress today for sure. Have a great weekend, Tony and friends. I'm off to an Indigenous Peoples holiday weekend. You mean Columbus Day? First Peoples. I think that's a good name for them. I don't like Native Americans. I don't like really anything with American behind it. Just, I think First Peoples is cool. There we go. First one's over. They're not from here either. They just walked their ass across the land bridge first. They got here first. First Peoples. Have a good time, man. Enjoy your time with some family and an adult beverage or two. I'm looking forward to putting that case together. I'm going to send you guys some pictures of that. Have all my figures on display instead of tucked away in boxes. I don't have so many that can't fill it, but I do need to be mindful of when I get close to filling it to buy another one so they don't go out of production, because that's what happened. The case that I had for my figures, well, it's not very big anyways. I think each level is only maybe 10 inches deep and maybe a foot across, and I got like 7 levels of those, and it's totally full. I can't put all my DBA stuff in there, you know. So I don't know what part you find funny. Yeah, Indigenous people. Yeah, I told my wife yesterday. I said, I wonder who's going to get upset on Monday. I said, well, what's Monday? I said, Columbus Day. If you've seen my Facebook page and you see my little Facebook picture, you already know how I feel about it. Hey, people have been doing bad things for thousands of years. You know, I'm not condoning any of it, but I'm also not going to apologize for it either. We wouldn't do that stuff now. A bank holiday. Although we had one of our jobs that they would take delivery on Monday, so they wanted to work, but it's a site that's Department of Veterans Affairs, and they wouldn't let them work. So nope, you guys have to be off this day. And we couldn't deliver anything on Monday. I guess there's no mail either. I bet there's no mail. Maybe there is. Always annoying to order something through the mail and bam, here's another day that they can't deliver my stuff. And then I looked at it, I'm like, damn near every month. I think there's only 1 month that doesn't have one of those, and it may be August. In January, obviously, we have the 1st. President's Day? Is President's Day in January? Or one of the president's birthdays or something is in January. And we got Martin Luther King on Tuesday. On February. March has. What does March have? Maybe March doesn't have one. Damn near every month has one of those things. Screw it. Order it through Amazon. They'll have it there to you before you even order it. If you do order it through Amazon, make sure who you're getting it from through Amazon. There's some people that sell on Amazon I don't want to buy from. Somebody's already mowing at this time? No fair. I gotta do that. Okay, well, I think the girls are awake, so I'm gonna count this one out. So, and considering there's only one person on here, sorry, dude, I gotta bail on you. But we've been on here for a little bit this morning. We'll be on tomorrow morning. Who knows what we'll be painting? Maybe something different and cool. To be continued. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, folks. We'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy your Saturday. Oh, I got those backwards. President's Day in February, Martin Luther King in January. Okay. I knew one took the place of the other one, but okay. See ya.